YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I've got a really big pickups video for you here. This was something that was a little while in the making. The reason why is it sort of started off, I didn't really have a lot of things to put together a video for you guys. It's been pretty slim out there, and then within the last day I just scored like a huge lot of games from a Value Village, so it's gonna kind of put it over the top a little bit here. That kind of stuff's gonna come at the end though, because that was sort of like the most recent thing you know, that I came around kind of thing. So I'm gonna get started on all this right now for you without further ado, because if I take any longer explaining this stuff, it's gonna be quite a long video as it is. So let me get started. Early on, like quite a while back now, I just picked up a Game Boy Advance SP charger, and that came in a bag with some other kind of charger for some other electronic, I'm not sure, but it was only $2, so I figured for $2 it's definitely worth picking that up, just because a lot of times you'll find systems they don't have the chargers, so that's a good little extra to have around, that's for sure. Moving along, I'm trying to decide what to show you here next. I guess I'll go with this guy right here. This is a Famicom clone system that I picked up. It's a GameStar Super TV Games system, and it is in the box, but it's supposed to come with a gun peripheral or whatever, and that was missing from the box, but not really a big deal. I'll show you the reason why though here in a second. It's a pretty cool little system. Actually has like a keyboard kind of set up here, and I have to clean everything up, so it's a little bit filthy, but I did test it out and it does work. It's pretty cool. It has like a little keyboard system as well, and what this does is the cartridge, which is really the reason why I picked this thing up. The cartridge here has like multi-games on it, but also has like a rudimentary like word processing program, a variety of other things like that, like little mini games. I'm not sure all the different types of little things, but it's like supposed to be like an education kind of unit or something like that, and most programs only work when you have the cartridge inserted in there, but this will work like, you know, on a Famicom kind of system. It's just a Famiclone sort of scenario, but works well with this for sure, and comes with two controllers, which aren't half bad for these clone kind of systems. I'll give you a little show of this right here, but yeah, so there they are right there. They kind of look like an N64 controller, only a little bit smaller. Has like a good grip on it. I think the buttons are solid and everything like that. So as far as like Famiclone systems go, that's a pretty good controller, I think, for what you're getting. Buttons are a little bit cheap in the plastic department, but it doesn't feel like light or that kind of cheapness. So they're pretty cool right there. I tested them both out and they work. And here's the system for a little closer up for you though. Has like, you know, RF out, and then it also has like the sort of NES style of video and audio out. So pretty cool. The way you do this is just open up the top here, and that's where you plug in the cartridge, and you know, you can plug in Famicom cartridges, or if you have a NES to Famicom adapter, you could use that on it. So it's pretty cool. I'm not really gonna hold on to this console. I don't think it's a little bit too big for my purposes. I'm trying to decide. I have a variety of different Famiclone systems. I'm trying to decide which one I want to hold on to, just because in some cases some of the games actually don't play, you know, on the Retron 5 kind of thing. So I'd rather hold on to one of those systems in case I want to check out some of those cartridges that don't necessarily work on that system, or don't work with the NES the way that it is kind of thing. So that's that. For that one there, I think I paid, well, yeah, well, there's the price tag right there. It's $4.99, so really all I was after was the cartridge that went with it for the most part, but still, you know, I'll just sell off that clone system very cheaply and recoup all my money and get to keep the cartridge kind of thing. But moving on, I did find a NES system, which is kind of nice. This is the legit deal here, no clone systems going on here. For this one here, I think I paid $14.99, so $15 for this. When I got this, it was in absolutely disgusting shape, and usually I just show you guys the stuff, the shape I get it in, I clean it up afterwards, just to see what I'm finding it there, so you're not thinking everything's golden. Everything's usually disgusting and filthy, and I have to clean it up, but this one was so disgusting and filthy, I could not leave it, you know, couldn't leave it like that in my house. It was just too filthy. I wasn't going to leave it lying around down here and getting my room all disgusting. So I gave this one a really thorough kind of bath sort of treatment, and it's in great shape now. When I first tested it out, first got it out through my test cartridge, I usually use a beat up copy of Mario Bros in there, and it was sort of had like that blinking light issue. You could not get it to go. You could wiggle it, you could do whatever you wanted. all those little techniques that we used to use back in the day to get it going. And this one would not work, but I did the little boiler trick, on the 72 pin connector, cleaned everything up inside, and now it works like a champ. It's like really good. It's got a little chip right here, and I think a little nick in the back somewhere. One of these, yeah, it's like a little nick back here. But other than that, it's in really great shape. It's a nice looking example of one for 15 bucks. I do that all day long. Also, this was on a different day, but at the same store, I managed to pick up Wrath of the Black Manta for the NES. I already have this in my collection, so I'm basically just gonna flip it for what it is. Really fun game. I enjoy it. Some people don't really have really great fond memories of it. I do. So there you go, right there. And I paid $6 for that. Not too bad. And then also Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which Angry Video Game Nerd was talking about this lately, or Mike Matei was playing this on a live stream and won or defeated or whatever you like to call it, beat the game on a live stream the other night. So that was kind of cool. I saw it the next day after I saw that live stream, so I thought that was really neat right there to pick it up. So picked that up. Moving on to kind of an interesting pickup. This one actually I got today. I've previously filmed this video, but something happened to the video and it just kind of didn't really work out. So I decided to refilm this. So here we go. I got this one today. This is my most recent pickup, and for $5, you can see the little baggie here. I got Shrek Super Slam on the GameCube. Loose disc, but fortunately the backside of it doesn't look too bad. It's not like perfect shape, but it's not too bad. And then at the same time, I also picked up Dragon Ball Z Sagas. So pretty cool, like $2.50 a disc. I'm definitely gonna do that. Those will be flipped. I don't really want to hold on to loose Game Boy or GameCube discs rather. But let's move those out of the way. And then at the same time, for $5, same kind of scenario here. I picked up a copy of, Batman Rise of Sin Tzu. I have to clean that up. It's kind of dirty on the bottom, but it's not too bad really. In condition wise, I'm sure I can clean it up. Hopefully it'll play. And then I also picked up, and this is really the why I picked up this particular bag, so I wasn't really that interested in the Batman title, but it's Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 on the GameCube, and the back of this one, it's not too bad. It's not in the world's greatest shape, but it's not too bad at all. The cool thing about this though is previously, like a long time ago, I walked into a store, I think it was a Goodwill, and they had a bunch of empty cases because someone had stolen all the games, and I just happened to be able to get them. I think they gave them to me for free, or I paid like very cheap, maybe like $1 for the case, but I got the case for it, which did not have a game in it, like that. So this was sitting here in my retro dungeon for quite some time with all my other cases that don't have anything in them, and now I'll be able to complete that. So that's pretty sweet right there. I didn't even realize it at the time that I had this. I came home and kind of went through all those cases, and I was like, maybe I have one of these games in there, and just turns out that I had probably the more valuable of the rest of them. So basically for $10 I got those 4 games, and I was able to complete one and sort of set right the universe sort of thing with this. So really happy about that. Moving on eBay, I got something just from doing sales or whatever. I used some PayPal cash and picked up Final Fantasy 3 on the on the Famicom, not the Super Famicom or the NES, the Japanese version of the NES, the Famicom. And this one's really cool. This is where they introduced the job system, which I'm familiar with from Final Fantasy Tactics, and like other Final Fantasy games also included them as well. But I really associate it with the Tactics game, because when I got a PlayStation 1, that was sort of one of the games that I went after originally. So that's where I sort of was introduced to the job system, because we never got this until way later on. We got a remake. I think it was on the PSP or something like that. We got a remake of this, or it might be on the DS, or it might be on both. But this is the original one, and really takes like sort of Final Fantasy 1 and 2, which came out in Japan, and takes like the best of both of those and kind of puts it together on this one. So decided to pick that one up because I really like to play the original game, not like a remastered version or anything like that. Just check out what it was like sort of back in the day, because we missed out on it here. Moving on from there, I stopped in at a Value Village, picked this up for $2.99, not too bad at all. Spyro Year of the Dragon. I already have this, and I have the black label version, so this is literally just like a flip material kind of thing. But for $2.99, I was going to leave it behind. It has been resurfaced before, you could tell by the look of it, but it's in great shape, so that's perfectly fine right there, and happy to pick that up. I believe this was at the same time so long ago, I can't remember now. But this one here is the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. Picked that up. That wasn't too bad of all of a score. And unfortunately, it doesn't have a manual unless it's starting to get into that sort of world where there is no manual. But I'm pretty sure Nintendo stuff kind of comes with a manual still. But still, you know, I didn't have it in my collection already, and picked that one up for $8, which I think is a stellar deal to pick up this title to add to the collection. So pretty sweet right there. And then moving on, these are a couple things just for flipping because I already have them in my collection. One of them is the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. This is the Game of the Year edition, so it has all the DLC kind of content. I believe they charged me $4.99 for this one, so not too bad at all. Definitely worth it in my estimation anyway. And inside it's totally complete, which is nice. And the disc on it, well, it's in great shape, so that's awesome right there. As far as the documentation goes, there's like extra documentation in here. So the map is in there. I don't really want to unfold that for you right now, but the map's in there, the manual's in there, and even has what is this, like the official guide kind of pamphlet or whatever, and also has like the registration card. So it really has everything. And then also on top of that, someone has included, I don't know if this is like a printed off walkthrough. I'm not totally certain about this. I'm gonna have to take a look at this, but yeah, basically it's like a run through of everything printed off on a few sheets of paper. So found a nice little bonus inside of there, but yeah, like completely complete, which is really nice and an awesome shape. So I'm gonna have to compare this against my copy and just see where mine sits, because this is in pretty decent shape. Just gotta get rid of some of the GameStop sticker kind of thing on it. Like I said though, that one was $4.99, and then also at the same time I picked up Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic for $4.99 as well, and that one's complete, although the manual is kind of butchered. I actually had to recase this one. It was a little bit in like messed up shape sort of thing, so I got recased it, but the disc itself is in great shape, so that's what really matters, I think, here. You know, that's just going to be for flipping as well. Hopefully I'll find someone that doesn't mind the manual being a little bit messed up on that one, but again, for that price I wasn't going to turn it down. And also at a Value Village as well. Basically, I think most of the stuff actually came from Value Village. Recently, it's just sort of over a long period of time, I picked up Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection, which is something I always wanted to get from my collection. Has tons of Genesis games and like unlockable Master System games as well. I can't remember the total number on this. I think it's like 40 games or something like that. It's pretty huge, and to be able to have them all in one disc, and a lot of the titles that are on here I don't have in my Genesis collection, so it's really nice to be able to get, you know, my hands on this one right here. Moving on from that, if you stop in at, you know, retail stores now and you're getting into the Nintendo Selects kind of stuff, Wii U games, there's a few of them there that are under the Nintendo Selects sort of banner now, and you can get them pretty cheaply. I know in the States, I think they're like $19.99, which I think is an amazing deal down there. Here they're $29.99 because the Canadian dollar is just absolutely miserable. But yeah, for $29.99, it's not too bad at all. It's something I didn't have in my collection. I picked up Super Mario 3D World. And this one here, which is interesting about this is not the Nintendo Selects version. This is actually the legit version. So if you're able to find a copy that isn't Nintendo Selects, they'll still give you the Nintendo Selects price, which is really nice. Not that there's anything wrong with the Nintendo Selects. They're not as, I think, as invasive or obtrusive or whatever you like to call it as some of the other ones that have like lots of different coloring and stuff like that on the binding. But still, that's pretty cool right there. And now we'll get into, I think that's everything up to this point. Now we'll get into this like really huge haul I got from Value Village, and I was really lucky. I had a filled up 30% off card, so I got 30% off of all of these titles, which is really nice because it saved me probably about $30. I ended up spending about $60 on all of this stuff that I'm about to show you right now. I'll get into this, starting off with some DS titles, and this one I'm going to end up flipping. It's Super Mario DS. and I paid whatever, 30% or 70% of that price right there, so I got 30% off. So pretty cool. It was $8 and the 30% off. So pretty cool. I don't have to say a whole lot about this title, but totally complete, which is nice. I don't have to check it against mine because it's in wonderful shape. Most of the stuff I'm about to show you is actually in pretty great shape. The next one here, and this is also for flipping, that's why I'm just showing these first, is Pokemon Ranger Guardian signs. And I'm not really going to collect, I think, Pokemon stuff. I'm going to get out of it, and if I have it in my collection, I think I'm just going to unload it because I'm not going to play it. And these things tend to have a little bit of value. This one was $5, so basically about $3.50 plus tax kind of thing, which is not too bad at all. Take a look there. The next thing I wanted to show you here, I got at the same time, and that's Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. You can see there, because it's a 3DS game, they decided to charge like $13 for it. But again, with 30% off, I saved a little bit off of that, and definitely worth it for this title. It looks like the manuals and these things are now electronic. It gives you codes for like electronic manuals, or like how the instructions on how to do it. But also in here, I'm not going to really show this off too much, but inside here there's also the code for downloading, I think it was like Omega Ruby or something. What is it called? Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby demo versions has like the code for that, so hopefully that works. I'm not totally certain if it does. I don't know if there's really a way to check it without using the code, but I'll probably end up flipping that because again, Pokemon stuff I'm sort of trying to get out of. That's sort of the idea behind it. Next thing here I got is Bomberman Land 2 Touch, which I'm going to be keeping for my collection. They only wanted $5 for that, so basically like $3.50 for that one. And in great shape again too. There you go right there. Always on the lookout for Bomberman games, so that's pretty neat right there. Looks like a bunch of little mini games and whatnot built into that. So it says more than 40 mini games in that one, so looks like there's tons of fun to be had right there. I don't know a whole lot about that title though, so let me know about that one. And then one I'm really happy to get, and that is Kirby Mass Attack. And for this one they only wanted $2.99, which I don't really understand why they were so multi-priced that day, but still a great deal for that one. And I didn't have it in my collection, so that's really wonderful to be able to add this one in. And there you go. That one's also complete. I'm always after the Kirby stuff, you know that. Basically in the last like sort of 5 or 6 videos I had, I always seem to have a Kirby related thing in there, and keeping the trend going. It's pretty awesome right there. I think I must have got a little blessed from the Very Game Exchange, touching and looking at all these like rare kind of games, because the next day I found all this stuff, and it still continues. So that same haul from Value Village, I picked up Sonic Riders. That one again was $3.50, like $5, but 30% off. And there's that, fully complete as well. Moving on, picked up Soul Calibur 2, also on the GameCube for $3.50. Never gonna turn GameCube titles that aren't sporty kind of things down for that kind of price, that's for sure. You don't really see that every day, and that's pretty cool right there. And also picked up Sonic Adventure Battle 2. This is the player's choice version, but still cool nonetheless. Unfortunately, missing the manual. Really strange thing about this one, like I do have a copy that does have a manual, but for the most part, I can never find copies of this with the manual in there. It's just one of those games that I think people chuck at the manual a lot or something with it. But again, $3.50 for that. Pretty cool deal. And then I also picked up another copy of it because they had 2 of them. This one here is the Black Label version. And again, like I was saying though, no manual in there, just the insert, but no manual. So kind of funny right there for that. Little, not in the world's greatest shape. This is one of the ones that, it didn't really turn out too well, but again, I can always resurface that and just be really gentle with it. GameCube games can get a little messed up if you do that to them sometimes, but for the most part, it should be fine. And then moving on and getting into some Wii titles here now. Picked up Super Mario Galaxy. That was also $3.50, so that's a no-brainer right there. That should be an easy flip, and that's there, totally complete. It might be in better condition than mine though, so I'll have to double check that. But the disc is like nearly flat. I think there's like one little tiny scratch right there on it. Maybe, no, actually it's a piece of hair. So it's tough to clean these things up, but still in great shape and wondrous thing to find, especially first party titles kind of thing out there in the wild. And then for $3.50 I also picked up Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which I believe I already have in my collection. So again, that's going to be for a recouper of some of my cash here. And that one there was $3.50. It's got like some serious Spizats on here. I don't really know what's going on there, what they got on there, but the rest of it's like an absolute mint shape. So that's what really matters. The disc itself looks like it might have been resurfaced at some point, but still it's in decent shape and it looks like it'll play, and that's what's important. So pretty cool right there, finding Zelda game. But it doesn't end, it keeps on going. So 30% off again, Mario Party 8. That's all right there, because I did not have this in my collection. And again, $3.50 for that one. And what a huge, nice little addition to the collection again. Straight up, you know, Nintendo first-party titles. It needs to be cleaned up because there's fingerprints all over it, but I think it'll be perfectly fine and ready to play. So that's awesome right there. I don't really know a whole lot about Mario Party titles. Never played them on the N64. I heard some good things about them, but there's different ones out there that people don't hold in such high reverence. I don't know about this one, so you guys let me know about this game here, because I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it. I haven't really checked out any reviews of it, so let me know what's up with that one. And then these last two are definitely like thanked additions, or whatever you like to call it, to my collection, so I'm really happy to add these ones in. The first one is Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, which I did not have in my collection, so that's really nice. And that one there is also complete, has the soundtrack that came with it, and then the game itself, manuals in there, and everything in here is in beautiful shape. So again, $3.50 for that. Never gonna turn it down. And this is probably the best find of the week, I think, as far as, or not the week, probably like the month. All this stuff that I picked up. I picked up a lot of really cool things, but this was probably the best deal of them all, and that is Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Got this for $3.50 with that 30% off coupon kind of thing. So pretty wicked right there, and it's in miraculous shape as well. So really amazing right there. This one here, if you're not aware, this is you know, and I always, whenever I talk about these kind of games, I always say Final Fantasy Tactics, because that's really where I started with these things. Although I guess if you're looking at like Shining Force, that would be sort of the first turn-based style, you know, RPG overhead map sort of view. That's this game here. This one is extremely hard from my understanding, in that if your character dies, they're done. That's it. So you have to really pick your battles wisely and make your moves sort of intelligently, kind of thing. In this one, I heard you can save like during different parts of it, so you won't have to go back that far. But if your character dies, and you want to keep playing, well, your character's dead. So pretty cool one right there, though. Again, I was checking out gameplay of it. Visuals on this are absolutely beautiful. I think that's probably why it retains its amazing value, or whatever you like to call it. But wonderful addition to the collection. You don't really see too many high-end sort of Wii games out there these days, and this is definitely one of them. So that's everything that I got this time around. I know this is a pretty long video. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I will see you all later.